Hi, Rodrigo. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Thank you both so much for being here. So I'm going to give everyone a few more minutes to join, and then we will get started. The first thing I always like to do for those of you that are joining is I'm going to launch this poll. Let me know if you guys can see it. I'm going to launch it now. Can you guys see that, or am I the only one that can see it?
No,
We can see it.
Oh, you can see it? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna ask for those that are joining, if you'll just take this poll and sort of let us know where you are in your parenthood journey. That'll just sort of like always give us a good idea. Cool. Rodrigo and Lindsay, let everyone, where are you guys located?
We're in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Nice. How's the weather?
Today it's a little rainy, but I mean, overall it's probably in the 80s, so I can't really complain.
I know it's overcast here too in Austin, but for beginning of February, it kind of feels like spring, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's been nice here too. We're very happy to live here.
Okay, so far everyone is expecting their first baby. We have 100% poll participation for expecting their first baby. So this is great because like you'll share on the webinar, when people are expecting, let me see if I can see you. When people are expecting, it's sort of like their gateway into the low tox, non-toxic world. So this is like the perfect audience for our discussion. Okay, well, we're 2 minutes after, so I don't like to waste anyone's time, so I think we can just go ahead and get started. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, or if this is your second or third webinar, thank you so much for being here and giving us 30, 45 minutes of your day today. This is the solicited advice series. So as everyone can appreciate, when you become a parent, you are inundated with unsolicited advice, which is sort of where we coined the term solicited advice for all of our content series. We also poll our audience all the time on topics that they love to hear and things that they care about. And skincare is at the top of people's list, especially when they are trying and when they get pregnant. And you guys were the first people we thought of to lead this topic. So I will let you guys introduce yourselves. So if you'll just tell us a little bit about both of you, I think that would be great just to give everyone a little bit of context on why you're the best people to be here with us today.
Okay, great. Thank you. And congratulations to everybody who's expecting. That's so exciting. My name's Lindsay, and I am the co-founder and esthetician here at Skin at Peace. And we are a skincare line primarily for new and expecting mothers because we feel we have the cleanest and safest skincare for the mother and the baby. And this is my husband, Rodrigo. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, I'm an MD, did my observerships in clinicals and internal medicine, but also dedicated my work towards lab work and including skincares. So, and my wife is an esthetician for 18 years. And actually I made these products for her, trying to make a super clean product that's super safe for pregnant women, for people with sensitive skin, or people that just want clean beauty, because it fits all three of those profiles perfectly.
Yeah, it was definitely, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Lindsay.
I was definitely having trouble in my career finding a skincare line that really was truly clean. Like there's a lot of greenwashing, like a lot of brands that say that they're clean, natural, safe, but when you actually look at the ingredients, it's not the case. So once I started to really investigate that, and I also have rosacea, which is very minimal now compared to what it used to be, but I would get very inflamed by a lot of the products that I put on my skin. And so through my frustration and then turning to Rodrigo, he was able to create Skin at Peace for me over 6 years ago now. And it was so wonderful that I'm like, you know, we have to sell this, we have to share this with people. So then, you know, the journey kind of started from there of like really learning about skincare, the ingredients, the long-term effects, the impact on, you know, our health. And so, yeah.
And plus you added ingredients that to stay away from when you're pregnant that cause harm to your baby as an expectant mother. So we have nothing that would cause any type of problems or issues as far as during your labor and also during breastfeeding. So it is 100% safe to use.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think it's the perfect segue into this topic because I've been pregnant twice now, 2 girls, Emily and Zoe. And when I was pregnant with in my first trimester, before I even started thinking about my registry or anything else, there were immediate changes I wanted to make in my lifestyle to have like a healthier one. I remember switching out my cleaning products to be like low and non-tox. I switched out all my plastic Tupperware. Like these were like really quick, immediate change that I can make. So I switched out my plastic Tupperware for glass and just started to really like think through all of those products in my house and the ones that I was ingesting or putting on my skin. And then of course, the next one that you can imagine was skincare, shampoo, conditioner, things like that, just like overall skincare wellness products. So I don't even know what I was looking for specifically, other than probably Googling safe, non-toxic skincare. So can you just give people an overview when they're expecting, or not even like, even if we just take that group of people out of this, like, where does someone start if they want to enter this like non-toxic skincare world? Can you just help us understand the best places to start and things that we should be looking for? And then I guess we can get into the things we should be trying to avoid. But if no one knows anything about this world, where do we start?
Well, for skincare, I would say head over to our website, skinatpeace.com, and we have a free guide on there that you can download. It's a PDF, and it will just have like a basic list of skincare ingredients to avoid while pregnant and breastfeeding, such as retinol and all retinoids. That's like number 1. Salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, fragrances, chemical sunscreens. There's a whole list, and we can go through all of those and dissect them. But basically, there's a lot of information out there now. I feel like the non-tox world is really like blowing up now because people are becoming really aware, which is such a good thing. So there are a lot of resources. I mean, our website's a great place to start, but you can reach out to us. Anybody can email us and contact us. I'm sure you have a lot of resources as well. We always recommend like medical journals, not really like blogs. And I know that you're passionate about this.
Yeah, basically when we first started down this journey of safe skincare, so many blogs and hearsays, and they're not exactly hitting it. They're going on, 5 or 10% correct information. It's everything that we posted on basically our PDF. We have the source from what medical journal it was taken on. Whenever it's in a medical journal, it means it's been studied and it's reproducible. They get the same results over and over again. So you could take that as, as close to 100% fact as you can get. So that's why I'm basically very adamant about the sources of where you get your information from.
Right.
But it's and also a lot of the skincare out there, when you go on, Amazon.com, or when you're going into your convenience store, a lot of them say safe and clean. But when you actually look at the ingredients, they're absolutely not. So do not trust that front label or that claim, because it's greenwashing. It's not regulated. There's no one to say what is safe and what is clean, so they could put whatever brands they want on that front of that actual sticker. Until you actually look at all the individual ingredients, that's the only way to really guarantee that you're getting a safe product.
And there's a lot of apps out there like Think Dirty, Skin Bliss is another one, the EWG, which is Environmental Working Group website, where you can actually scan the labels of your product from your phone, and it will automatically bring up like if an ingredient's good, if it's neutral, like a yellow, like there's green for good, yellow for neutral, or red for like, no, this is toxic. And that's for like humans across the board, like not pregnancy, breastfeeding. So I would recommend people that are really, interested in this to go around, look at your shampoo bottles, look at like, everything you're putting on your body or ingesting, or like even candles, like, everything you got to kind of think about. You can scan the label of the ingredients, and that'll tell you right there whether it's like safe or not safe. Yeah,
and I'm very proud to say that our Skin at Peace products, when you check us at any of those registries, we always come out green. So we're very, very safe.
Okay, so now we know where to go. I have resources on my website. Your website is robust with resources. The apps where we can check the ingredients and the safety of our products. I guess one of the questions I think we need to address is, why should we care about this? Like, why does it matter, especially for pregnant people, why non-toxic skincare should be a priority? I'm sure that's like a loaded answer, but where would you start? Or do we need to break it down even further?
Yeah, well, the two biggies, which Lindsay already mentioned, was basically the retinoids, retinol serums and things like that. 100%, anything vitamin A derivative is what retinol is. It is known to have can cause birth defects. So it doesn't mean it's going to. So I don't want anyone to get panicked. If you're using the product, doesn't mean 100% you're going to have it. It just increases your risk of having it. And then salicylic acids, basically that has to do with a blood thinning effect, which could actually affect your placenta attaching to the wall of your uterus. So that it can affect, some very negative outcomes, things like that. But those are like some of the big ones. The other ones are just toxicities, which basically, in the world that we don't know what, 80% of the products are going to affect us down the road. We want to stay away from these dangerous things because we're seeing more autoimmune diseases than ever before. People's allergies are off the charts compared to what was just 2 generations ago. So we want to basically be as clean as you can be in order to avoid any further complications down the road.
One of the questions that came in was, can you repeat the potential effects for salicylic acid? I don't think someone heard like the first part of your response.
Oh, the salicylic acid. Okay, so there's 2. If you internalize any type of salicylic acid products, now some people, this is one of the ones that's on the fence, whether it's okay to do it topical or ingest it. But I'd say if it's on the fence, either way, stay away from it. So salicylic acid has a blood thinning effect. So basically that could affect the blood circulation between, the fetus and the placenta and, the uterine wall. So that's why, that when you have uterine ruptures or there's little pockets it's becoming detached and there's a lot of bleeding, that's what it's referring to. So if it's on the fence whether it's safe or not, I'd say don't use it. So that's just to be extra safe. So those are the 2 big ones. And then the whole other list, which Lindsay just rattled off the top of her head.
Well, there's like hydroquinone for skin lightening. You can substitute that for vitamin C. We do have a substitute for retinol, which is called bakuchiol, and that's a plant-based, and it does the same thing for the skin as retinol does. It may not be as strong, or it won't cause like redness or peeling or any of that, but it's completely safe. We also use vitamin 3 niacinamide, which is a great replacement for the salicylic acid. It does something similar to the skin. So it's just about making healthy choices and making the swaps that are going to be more beneficial and err on the side of caution. Yeah. And that's like Rod said, like we don't want to scare anybody, and probably somebody that uses these products topically might not experience anything, but just the fact that we don't know what the long-term effects of these things
and
are.
fragrances, big
oh
no-no.
yeah, fragrances.
Yeah, it's on our list too.
Yeah, well, fragrances, you can hide, some people say thousands, some people say tens of thousands of chemicals can be hidden under this one label fragrance, So, and you don't know what the end results of how toxic these chemicals can be.
And fragrance can also alter the hormones in the body. So that's another big thing. Like even like lavender and tea tree oil is not something that you want to use on like a daily basis because it can actually,
it mimics estrogen. So your body, so for example, there's medical papers, once again, not from blogs, these are from medical papers, and you can look it up. The effects of lavender soap on, they did a study in England where kids that use lavender soap on a daily basis develop female breast tissue because of the increased estrogen hormone that they were receiving. Well, their body thought was receiving. So it mimics estrogen. So stay away from tea tree oil, especially during pregnancy. The last thing you want to do is affect your hormones during pregnancy. So stay away from lavender, stay away from tea tree oils, whether it's in shampoo or soaps or just the actual essential oil itself. So.
Okay. So goodbye salicylic acids, fragrances, perfumes, tretinoin, any brightening agents, the toxins,
retinols,
retinols,
only use zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. Those are mineral sunscreens. So they stay on the surface of the skin and reflect the sun and the UVs rather than like chemical sunscreens that have like the oxy, bentonite, and we have a list.
Yeah,
like
they get
all the
absorbed into
ingredients.
your bloodstream.
And then your body has to process that like a toxin. And so it goes to your liver, your organs. So yeah, those, and they're not great for the environment also. They're not good for the oceans and the reefs.
So what's that type of sunscreen called?
So there's a mineral sunscreen, that's good.
That's what we
And
want.
then there's a chemical sunscreen.
Just zinc and titanium. So if you remember those two, those are the safe ones.
Okay.
All the other chemical ones, stay away from, they can get absorbed.
And
So-
most brands now, like Badger, Supergoop, like a lot of these, they're using mineral, they're using zinc oxide. So just look, those are safe. Zinc's actually really beneficial for your skin. It's great for your body. So yeah, just making the swap to that.
Someone's gonna be listening to this webinar and run to their bathroom and look at their like skincare and makeup bag and be like, well, now what? You know, I mean, it's just, it's important, right? But it's also so frustrating because you don't hear about this stuff often when you're making purchases, or your OB doesn't talk to you about, hey, here are some things you consider that are really simple, your skincare ingredients, and just no one has these conversations with us, which is why I think this topic is so important, because it's just frustrating is I guess my point. I don't have like anything like thoughtful to provide the conversation other than it's so frustrating because we spend our money, we buy these products, we get pregnant, and it's all of a sudden like we shouldn't use any of these. And I understand why it's so important, but it's also just frustrating that no one talks about this stuff.
Yeah.
You have TikTok influencers showing their get ready with me morning routines. They talk about all their skincare, but I don't know. It's just, it's hard.
And especially when a person is pregnant and you have rapidly producing cells in your body. The best time to be super healthy is when these cells are rapidly producing to form new cells, because you're basically building those blocks out of whatever resources you're giving your body. So if you eat cleaner, those cells will be healthier. If you have good multivitamins, those cells will be healthier and functioning more efficiently. So, and the more toxins you give it, it's a possibility of, just issues down the road. Now, the nice thing about this is that when it comes to skincare, pregnancy is very unique. Some women say, oh, their skin's never been better. Some women have hormonal acne that they've never had before. So it's basically your body's just supercharged and overproducing both in hormones and in cellular reproduction. Now, skincare is not the cure-all for people like, for example, women who have hormonal acne. But having a clean skincare will guarantee that it won't exacerbate that. It won't make it worse. So basically, it's not, so don't think that if you buy, for example, Skin Apiece or whatever other nice clean product you have, that it's going to solve it, okay? Because right now it's the food you eat, the environment you're in, and basically, plus whatever you're putting on top of your body. And your body's basically being overdriven with hormones. So you don't want to do anything that will make anything worse. You want to keep
that makes sense. What are some other common pregnancy like skincare things do you notice a lot? For me, I had really bad melasma with both of mine. I didn't experience the hormonal acne, but the dark spots on Google, they call it the face of pregnancy. So yay me, I had it. It was really hard. But that's what I experienced. What other common symptoms do you guys like see pop up?
And that usually, melasma is usually, it's related to high estrogen levels. So obviously, your progesterone and estrogen are basically going crazy in your body. So that's what that's reflecting that.
Yeah, I see a lot of that as an esthetician, melasma, and it's just, hyperpigmentation. And we recommend using vitamin C is a really great way to combat that. And usually when you're done having your children, it will subside and go away. But if it is caused by like sun damage or other things like that, vitamin C is the safest way to help to brighten that or lighten that. Just definitely don't want to turn for like hydroquinones, like one of the ingredients it's like prescribed by a dermatologist. they wouldn't do that while you're pregnant. But if somebody had that at home from, previous use, you don't want to use that while pregnant. It's
You
actually
don't want to use Accutane. You don't want to use
it's
anything.
carcinogenic. So it's like anything like that. And I don't want to scare people. I think that it's just making healthier choices. It's just like food. It's, if you eat a bag of chips or a bag of cookies, like you're not going to die. It's like, it's over time. So it's just about being more mindful about what you're putting on your body, what's in your home, and just being aware of like what products that you're buying. So the next time you're at the store, if you have a choice between a healthier product or a cleaner product or something that maybe is advertised well, has great marketing, but you look at the ingredients and you see that it's not really that healthy, just making the better choice. It's not like you have to throw away everything in your house and start from scratch.
Right.
It's just like over time making healthier decisions.
Yeah, and I just want to plug, just while we're here, our products, because of the fact that, for example, one of the things that we do is we do a monthly subscription. None of our products have preservatives because you got new bottles every 30 days. So this is made fresh in the lab every single week for whatever's going out for that week. And you have a 30-day supply and it gets renewed every 30 days. So nothing, not only is it no bad ingredients, but no bad preservatives. And I take a lot of pride finding the best quality ingredients I can find. We have two types of vitamin C serums in there for that melasma that you were just talking about. One's an oil-based, one's a water-based, so it hits different levels of the skin, so it really clears that up. So that's just good products all around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no preservative is a big deal too. Most brands are not doing that, and that's because anything that sits on a shelf longer than 90 days has to have preservatives in it in order to keep it from growing mold and bacteria, which is why we recommend doing the monthly subscription. That way you're getting it fresh, and we always have the date it was made on the box and the date it expires. We say a 60-day shelf life just to like err on the side of caution, but you're not going to find any chemicals that are going to extend the life of the product, which means everything you're putting on your skin is pure, fresh ingredients without any of the toxic chemicals.
And the added benefit that it's freshly made, so it's in its highest potency. Like that vitamin C for melasma, vitamin C after about 45 days, it's down to 5% efficacy, means that you're not really getting any of the potency of that vitamin C if you're buying a serum in the store that's been sitting on the shelf for 3 months and in the back warehouse for 2 months, and it got delivered and it was sitting in the lab before that. You're really just buying the bottle of the oil carrier it was in. Ours is made fresh, so you're getting that the week it was made. So you're going to get the full benefits of fresh ingredients at the highest potency.
Can you buy the kit products to try them before you commit to the subscription? Are they available with like individual sale too?
You can do you can do a one-time purchase. It's a little bit more for the one-time purchase, but we also have on the subscriptions, if you do it, you're in charge of your subscription model. You could sign in and you could postpone it, you could skip months and things like that. So we always recommend, we're going to give a little coupon code for a percentage off, and the subscription model is a little less. We always tell you, subscribe. If you don't like it, then you can cancel it, and there's no penalty. There's no minimum amount of time you have to stay with us. Do the subscription model.
And we're very flexible. Usually if people just email me with any concerns, I take care of it right there. Like, you talk to us directly.
That's how much we believe in the product and the feedback we get from people that just love it. So we're not really concerned whether people like it or whether it feels good on their skin, because we just get so many positive reviews and feedbacks from people.
My mom, you guys know, you met her in Orlando, one of the cities you guys met my mom. And she's been selling Mary Kay for over 20 years. And she was so afraid to admit how much she loved your skincare. I think it was the first thing she tried and used in over 20 years and could not stop talking about it. And like that really subtle orange scent that's in one of them. Is it the daytime?
It's the day and the night.
Yeah, it's got a touch of orange essential oil. That way it's not actual fragrance, but it's actually antibacterial a little bit, orange essential.
I love it. It's great. Okay, another question that came in is someone's asking if you can talk a little bit more about the chemical sunscreen and just absorbing into your skin. If you can just sort of like elaborate on why we would want to avoid that during pregnancy, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, basically it's just like Lindsay said, that when the chemical type of sunscreen's on there, it's absorbed into your skin. That's why it's so effective at repelling, why you don't get burned. But then in order to get it out of your skin, it gets absorbed into your lymphatic system, into your bloodstream, and that's got to be strained by your liver. And it's also, it's toxic to your liver. So your liver gets overstrained by this process. So your liver is like the chemical factory of your body. It should be making other stuff. Like, for example, it helps make some of your bile. It helps clear excessive hormones that are inside your body. So it should be just basically taking care of the natural body processes rather than detoxifying. So when you're filling up your liver with other toxins, it's not able to do its clean job of maintaining your hormones in good levels by clearing them out of your bloodstream. Also, just the bile for digestion of fats and things like that. So it stops that kind of process. It clogs it up. So you want your liver nice and clean by basically not toxifying it.
Yeah, and zinc oxide is a physical sunscreen or a mineral sunscreen, and basically it just acts like a barrier. So when the UV rays hit the skin, it's like reflecting it off rather than absorbing the UV rays and having it processed through the body the way he just explained. So that's why, sometimes you see like that white cast of that like zinc color. Well, that's like old school zinc. Now we've like figured out a way to blend it with other ingredients that you don't see that white cast.
They're micro-ionized zinc and titanium. So it's a molecularly smaller. So when you first put it on, it's a little white, but then when you rub it in, it kind of blends.
Yeah, I won't believe that white cast. I use it every single day. We live in Florida. I am very pale, so like I'm constantly using zinc oxide, titanium dioxide on the skin, and it absorbs really well in the skin. And there are many brands now that say mineral sunscreen, physical sunscreen, and that's it. So it's just to look out for those ones. So instead of just running and grabbing, like, I don't want to like drop names, but like, the banana boat, the Coppertone, like those ones you see at your local supermarket, the spray-on ones, like just read the label. If you see like oxybenzonite, and we have a list of like all the chemicals that go into those sunscreens. If you see all of those, that's a chemical sunscreen, and those just are not healthy.
Okay, good to know. Thank you. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on as it relates to fragrances and perfumes in skincare?
So, I mean, I used to and still love fragrances. As a woman, I actually used to work at a fragrance counter in the mall like many years ago, and I've always like loved that stuff. But once I started to realize that most of the ingredients in a fragrance is so toxic for you, even just breathing it in, it's like your body has to process it the same way he was just talking about. Like every toxin that goes into our body, whether it's on our body, whether we breathe it in, it has to be processed through the body. So once I realized like the toxic load that was adding to my body, and maybe that's why I was having rosacea, why I was having headaches, like all of these symptoms that were coming up, and everybody has different symptoms, all of that contributes to it. So now I just am like really careful that I don't use anything with synthetic fragrance. It might be a little bit boring, but there's like different essential oil blends that you can use that are a lot better. But even those, you want to be careful of like not overdoing it. Definitely like Glade plugins in the house and like things like that. Anything like cleaning products that you spray and they have like a heavy fragrance, all of that, it's just adding to that toxic load. So even like shampoo and conditioner, like I always buy the unscented. I know that it's boring, but I know that that's not going to be adding more harmful chemicals to my body. And honestly, my skin has never been better. And I know it's like lifestyle, hormone regulation, using our products. I only use our skincare products because I trust them, and using like just very clean shampoo, conditioner, body wash, like just Castile soap, like, it's boring. Everything's unscented, but I feel so much better. So there's something
I think people would prefer boring over unsafe anyway. That's for sure.
So that's just my personal opinion about it, but there's a lot of research to back it up.
I know. I I joke, I mean, I don't joke. When I was pregnant with Amelia, one of the very first things I did, like I said in the beginning, was start to make like really immediate swaps. And I went to the library and I rented this book called The Complete Organic Pregnancy. I don't know if you've ever read it. It's like kind of an old book. Maybe there's like a newer one, but it talks about skincare. It talks about food, sleep, the sun, sunscreen, plastic versus glass versus blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I just like loved having this resource because it was like the only thing I could find at the time, which was only 6 years ago. Like it wasn't even that long ago, but even then I didn't feel like there was a lot of information available. So that was maybe like the first and last time I've checked out a book at a library. And I'm so glad that things changed.
Yeah, you can really go down a rabbit hole. Like, I think I drive Lindsay crazy a little bit when it comes to our pots and pans. I do not use aluminum pans of any single kind, and also anything that has Teflon. So it's hard to find. So my favorite like pots and pans are cast iron, which are a pain to clean, but absolutely are not detrimental to you in any way. That Teflon, it's been proven in medical studies that there's certain, almost every living person has a little bit of Teflon inside of their organic that your body can never get rid of. So, and then, you know, there's just so many bad chemicals out there. There's medical studies about mercury content that's been so bad as far as we've been dumping our poison into oceans that even people that, you know, the mercury content inside of a fish, women in Alaska from the Eskimo tribes that are still left over there, they're not allowed to nurse their babies because their only source of protein is the fish, and the mercury content in their breast milk is so high. So, and mercury is detrimental to neurological defects. That if you have mercury poisoning, especially in developing children, it could affect the way their brain gets formed. So it's very, very dangerous. So that's why they can't nurse their own kids anymore because of that fish resource. So these things do matter. I mean, sometimes we feel like we're blowing it out of proportion, but when you read medical studies like that, it's scary. It really is.
And I think it's the overall, like I said, like the toxin load. So it's like, you don't have to like cut out absolutely everything and like get paranoid and like change everything, but it's just being aware that all of these things add up and like picking and choosing, you know, what's important to you, what is, you know, affordable to change right now, what you can do right now without blowing it out of proportion.
Yeah.
Like this has taken us years to, you know, start like I said, working in spas and day spas. I mean, I used to use all the chemicals and everything. It wasn't until I started to like really get rosacea and like health problems that I started to do this research and like just slowly changing over everything. Now to the point where we have raised bed planters in our backyard and we're starting to grow our own food because, you know, the more and more research you did. But we didn't start out doing that. Like it's been a slow process, but it's definitely one where I even feel so much better and I know that we're on the right track. And I am excited for this industry too, because awareness is coming. Like you mentioned that you couldn't even find any sources besides that book. And now it's like with Instagram and TikTok and all these places, if you're actually looking for a low tox lifestyle, there's tons of Instagram accounts of women just like us who are promoting this stuff. So if you just like search out for it, there's a lot of awareness, and brands, like even big brands, are starting to really change their ways now, and they know that they have to in order to.
Like I just got an email from Naturepedic. They just got the first crib mattress to be EWG verified. So like consumers are demanding healthier materials, whether that's for our body or proximity to our babies. And crib mattress is a big one. And so I'm so happy to see these brands really start stepping up to the plate to offer options if we can provide those for our families.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I can tell you that I think we have an advantage over the big brands when it comes to skincare. And the reason why is that they need to make their formulas in huge batches. And then that way they can, you know, whether it's their own laboratory or contract lab, that basically produces a mass amount, and then it sits on a shelf because they made enough for the whole year. We have our own lab, which I supervise, That's why I can basically supervise it on a weekly basis. Since we are not as large as the competitors, you know, it takes weekly batches, smaller batches being made on a weekly basis, and that lab is only going to be dedicated to that one company. So bigger companies that have these big brands, it's not cost effective for their bottom line to do this. So you almost have to go into the smaller type companies to get the cleaner type of freshly made products more often.
And honestly, the products are so much better of these smaller brands. Like, I've made friends with a lot of other business owners that have like hair care brands or like tallow brands from the cow, and like all different like types of businesses, small businesses that have these ingredients in these batches and small batches. And honestly, their products are just so much better than these big mass produced. It's just that we don't have the marketing. We don't have the same, you know,
the national global reach.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess the advice would be go to your local like farmers markets and like seek out those smaller local brands.
And look at the ingredients of
look at
everything, because that will tell you how good or how clean they are.
So when I was nursing my first daughter, Amelia, I had the biggest issue besides all what you hear about pregnancy was my skin, especially postpartum. I do know that some of it was stress related and that manifests in my body physically on my skin, but I had such severe perioral dermatitis. And it was while I was nursing, going back to an office, like it was the worst skin condition I've ever experienced. And it was humiliating. I couldn't put makeup on. My skin hurt, it itched, it looked red, it was raised. And I went down, I think I ended up on Reddit for like hours reading about people's experience with perioral dermatitis. And the ingredient that I finally understood that I needed to cut out was, you guys want to take a guess?
Do you know?
Go ahead.
There's so many. I'm like, I don't even know.
Sodium lauryl sulfate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally wrecking my skin. And sure enough, after I went on this Reddit rabbit hole and I understood what that ingredient was, it was in everything I was putting on my skin, in my shampoo, on my body wash, my skincare. I mean, it was, so that was the first ingredient to go in our entire household, and my skin improved so much.
And you have to realize it's not just while you're pregnant, then right after you give birth, you're breastfeeding. So it's a different level of hormones that are taking up your body while your body's still trying to recuperate. And then then when you're done with breastfeeding, your hormone levels are changing again. So it's this constant balance that's being done, and it affects your digestion, and it affects your skin, it affects everything.
Yeah, that SLS paraben. So what that is actually like a foaming agent that is like a degreaser. And they use that in garage floor cleaners to get those like grease spots out. Like literally, that's where that ingredient came from. And that's what they put in all of these products. And it wasn't until like the past like 10 years, and I'm giving that a lot of credit, 5 years even, that people started to realize about this. That's why like a lot of shampoo brands say like no sulfates, no paraben, like no SLS and all of that, because that's exactly what that is. And it just strips your skin of all of that oil. And so your skin's constantly trying to produce more oil to balance itself out, which is why we use an oil cleanser. That's a whole nother topic.
And if you ever want to irritate your skin, dry it out. That's another form of irritating it. The oils maintain natural moisture barriers in your skin, so it doesn't dry out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're almost at time. If there's like one thing, and I'll just remind everybody, we will send the post-webinar email with all the resources and links that Rodrigo and Lindsay have discussed and shared, link to their skincare and their website, and a link to this recording. But I always love to ask our webinar guests, if there's like one thing someone listening to this takes away from our conversation, what do you want that to be besides going to buy your skincare?
Ingredients. Always look at the ingredients. Of every single product you're going to buy, just look at the back of it. And you're going to start educating yourself slowly. You'll start noticing one ingredient or two or three, and your list will mentally grow of what's safe and what's not. Make it a habit when you're in the grocery store, when you're picking something up, or when you're shopping on Amazon, they always have the ingredients listed there. Just make it a habit to look.
Yeah, and I would say there are healthy swaps or safe swaps for everything. You don't have to compromise your lifestyle. You don't have to stop wearing makeup. You don't have to stop like all of these things. You just have to make like the safer choices. Like I know that I have slowly switched my makeup over to all like clean makeup, like Ilia, Merit, Beauty Counter. There's so many now that like don't have all the toxic chemicals in it. So there are options out there. You can still be a girly girl. You can still wear your fragrance and your makeup and like have all the things. It's just make the healthier choice. Educate yourself.
Cool. Well, this has been so much fun, and I love this series because I feel like I just get to pick people I really like and topics I wish I had access to when I was pregnant with both of my kids, and this is absolutely at the top of my list. So thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and these always fly by. So thank you for sharing everything you know in this very short amount of time we were able to get through.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We feel the exact same way, and we're just honored to be here and be sharing with you and your audience. So thank you.
All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. And like I said, in a couple hours, everyone will get the post-webinar email, which will include everything we've discussed today.
Oh, and congratulations to everyone.
Yes, congratulations. And we're always here to answer any questions. So you can find us on Instagram or email us, and we're always here to help.
Cool. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye.